A couple months ago, Elegoo sent me out their Mars 2 Pro for you guys to test. This time, it's time for something bigger. Much bigger. This time around, we're having a look at the Elegoo Saturn. Basically, the bigger brother of the Mars 2 Pro. It has similar specifications, a 4K screen, it is super quick at printing, and it is basically just twice as big. So the prints come out just as nice. The machine feels super sturdy. All of the materials mostly are made out of metal or super strong and thick plastic. The Mars only has one rail to hold the build plate up. The Saturn actually has two. It is of course logical since the print bed is twice as big, so it needs to handle a lot more material, and therefore it doesn't hurt to have it a lot steadier. The print vat itself, which holds the resin, is held in nicely with two screws on each end, so it can't really be misplaced. If those screws don't fit, it's not fit in properly. And on the underside, it also has a couple bolts that fit into the platform around the screen nicely, so it does seat itself really easily. So those screws on each corner of the resin vat themselves also make it really easy to just set the vat down. As those screws are lower than the actual FEP film itself, it sort of acts like feet, and you can set it down on a surface without touching the FEP film or just even scratching it. You can of course then just easily put it back in place. It falls in all of the four slots on the corners, and those screws are just there to tighten it and hold it in place. The main build plate is also really easy to just put back in. Screw that big screw on top really tightly just to make sure that it doesn't move, and you're pretty much good to go after plugging in the power on both ends and turning the machine on. So the printer is almost ready to go, and in the meantime we just want to move on and create some files, of course. For this I'm using G2Box. This is a slicer that is supposed to go with the Elegoo machines. It's a really easy to use program. You just put in the file that you want to print, of course. That is going to be sliced in all the different layers that are going to be printed one by one. But in the program you can also just alter the parts a little bit. You can move them around on the build plate, rotate them, make them bigger or smaller, and also mirror them. The wheel file that I'm showcasing here is from my friend Casey over at Slowly's Models. If you're interested in one of these wheels or one of the many other designs he has, feel free to check out his Instagram. I will leave a link in the description. Before you can start printing, the file needs to be supported. You can go with the standard supports that are automatically added by G2Box. I personally am not a real big fan. They are just general supports, and most of the time I find they are either not enough or just located really inconveniently. So I'm just going to add a couple supports manually and then set it up to print. So G2Box was still set up at the normal Elegoo Mars settings, so I'm going to change that over to the Elegoo Saturn, and that changes the build plate volume as well, pretty much makes it twice as big. So we can just add a couple more wheels to fill that up nicely. So obviously with the Saturn, it's not only a plus point that the machine is bigger so you can print actual bigger things, you can also print more things on the same build plate. So for instance, I can fit one set of wheels and barrels on a normal build plate for the Mars, and in this case on the Saturn I can double that amount. As far as settings go, I'm no expert at all. I'm just going to do 5 bottom layers, set the layer height at 0.01. This is the finest layer height that this printer can do, and is the finest layer height I would advise, as you can't see the print lines anymore anyway. The cure time is going to be 2 seconds per layer. Once that is all set, I can move on to slicing the file and plugging it into the printer. If you're going to be using the printer for the first time, I would recommend to remove the vat first and level the print bed. The print bed is held in place tightly with 2 screws. These need to be undone a little bit. The print plate then drops down and is free to move. In the machine settings, you're then going to manually move the build plate to its home position, and then also place the leveling paper on the screen. This is included with the printer. Once the print plate is down and in the home position, make sure that it is oriented correctly and lightly press it down to make sure that it absolutely has nowhere to move, and then tighten both screws. Then go one step back in the menu and set the Z at 0. Raise the build plate up about 10 centimeters, reinstall the vat, and you're pretty much set. During testing, I have used a couple different resins from different brands. All of them have so far worked really well in the printer. For this example, I'm just going to use the Elegoo Standard ABS Gray. Shake up the resin really well before pouring it in, and then you're good to go. Keep in mind the resin cures when it comes in contact with UV light, so I advise to put on the UV protective cover before and during printing. Now if there is no UV light in the room, you can leave it off, but just keep in mind that it does give a bit of an odor, so I advise just to put it in place and not take it off during printing, and keep it on as much as you can. Then select the file on the machine and start the printing process. The first couple of layers are going to take a little longer than the rest, as those are the adhesion layers on the build plate itself. Depending on how many you have set up in the settings, it will take about 5 to 6 minutes for those to complete, and it will then slowly start to move on to the regular layers for about 2 seconds each layer. A couple hours later and you're done. So just as a little comparison, I set the regular Elegoo Mars Pro next to it, and as you can see, it is quite a big difference. One of the other features I do want to highlight as well, I've seen this on Uncle Jesse's channel. He's a great channel about 3D printing and does a lot of content, and also shows a lot of tips and tricks about these resin printers. So this print partially failed. I'm not really sure why. It probably has something to do with the supports that I added, and that it were simply not enough. But that of course has the risk that some of the parts might have dropped into the actual resin vat itself, and those need to be cleaned out. Now on this specific machine there is a tank clean function that just exposes the bottom layer of resin to some UV, of course. That cures it and also makes all of the parts that are stuck to the bottom stick to that as well. So instead of having to clean out the entire tank and make sure that all of the residue has been scraped off of the FEP film and potentially damaging it, you just have to tear off one small sheet of resin. So over the course of a couple of weeks, I gave this printer a really good test. I ran several different types of resin through it, and also did several different sizes of prints. This is the Rook. This is the first test print you're supposed to do to make sure that the printer is installed correctly and it prints perfectly fine. As you can see, there aren't really any imperfections on this, so the printer was set up really well and ready to go. After that was said and done, I moved on to my first big print. I decided I wanted to print a big Iron Man, and I quickly discovered that I might have been in over my head. So the layer height on this one was set at 0.05, and as you can see there are still a couple layer lines, but it does really print and capture all of the details really nicely. And after that first piece was printed, I quickly wanted to move on to the second piece. And this is just one of those pieces. It's pretty darn big, and that is when I really noticed that I was in over my head, as this was eating through resin like there was no tomorrow. So actually halfway through the print, the vat was empty and I was out of resin. So for now I just decided to sideline the Iron Man project, but you can still see the quality of the print. It wasn't cleaned up properly, so there is still a bit of mess on the side, but everything was cured before I touched it. I got some more resin in, and I decided to move on to some projects that were actually usable for some of my builds. As I just showed in the screen, those were the new brake discs for the Peugeot 205 that I'm building in 1/8 scale. All the details are captured super nicely, and the parts came out really crisp. So a couple really loyal subscribers that I asked you guys for to help out reached out in the video of the Peugeot build to design a couple of those parts. So I had a couple different iterations for some brake discs that I will be showcasing and using probably on the build itself, and someone also designed this fantastic set of wheels. I printed the wheels twice, once with a 0.05 layer height at the left, and also once at a 0.01 layer height. Again, these are not properly cleaned, so there is a bit of a mess on it, but overall the parts are super crisp, and I'm really happy with what this printer is capable of doing. And to showcase it even more, these are the prints that I showed you in the Chi2 box tutorial a little earlier in the video, and some of the other parts that are printed for these wheels as well for my friend Casey Slowly's Models. It just does print small parts really nicely too, so you don't just have to do it for the bigger prints. The smaller prints are printed perfectly fine as well. And then again, I was still printing with the water washable resin. I ran into the problem of this thing eating through resin. I again ran out halfway through the print. It's a really sad thing, but that is purely my own fault, as I just simply didn't add or have enough resin for these prints to actually complete. Now, even though I did not successfully complete the print of this astronaut, the water washable resin was not at fault. All of the details were captured really nicely, and it printed just the same way as I've experienced with other resin types. It does really smell as bad, and again, it cleans up really easily. If you're thinking of giving it a shot, I would definitely recommend to do so. So the final verdict on this printer, if I would advise it, yes, I absolutely would. Though I would ask you the question what you're going to be using it for. It is a really big printer, and it is better at printing either large volumes or fully filled print beds than it is at smaller prints, as with the smaller prints it does still have a lot of resin in the fat. It's a bigger print bed, so a lot more cleanup, and it does print just as well as the Elegoo Mars 2 Pro. So if you're going to go for some smaller prints, lower volumes, I would go for the Mars 2. If you're going to go for either a production style volume, just filling up the build plate, or simply want to print huge things, then this is the absolute best printer I could advise in resin form.